Education. Today we've got a very special gentleman here from SPC College Group. He's the owner and also he's the sole director for the corporation, been operating for a long time. SPC College is very special, a great partner of ours. SPC Group's got colleges in Brisbane, Cairns, and Nagoya, Japan. So we have this privilege to speak to you today about most of the varieties of courses and why is these special locations and the disciplines that they have put through, and the future. They're about to step into a different level in education sector, vet education sector in Australia. So I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Mr. Takaka Sahara from the SPC Group, the owner and the sole director. And now I've got my colleague Sarah here with us, and she's going to not only speak with us to our audience in English medium, she's going to be kind enough to speak to us in a bit of Spanish, right?
Yeah, sure.
So Mr. Taka's built this beautiful college concept, but it's he's talking to him. He said his favorite place is in Cairns. He's got colleges operating in Brisbane and these major cities and Nagoya, but he's always based in Cairns, and this is the first time he's ever visited Brisbane from after the COVID time. Mr. Taka, please tell us how this is built up, and what are the main courses, and what got you into English teaching?
Thank you. Thank you for introducing me.
You're welcome.
You guys are very smooth. Yes, I have started this school called Sun Pacific College, and it became short, and now it's called SPC. 23 years ago, I started one in Cairns, and about 10 years ago, I started one in Brisbane.
Right.
These two is English schools in Australia. As you can see, I am from Japan. My name says I'm Japanese. I left Japan 30 years ago. The day I graduated university in Tokyo, I left. 35 years ago, you may remember there was no internet, there was no superphone, smartphones. I went traveling around the world. India was there, Singapore, Malaysia.
UK?
Yeah, UK. How did you know UK? I was there.
You're talking about studying in UK?
Oh, okay. Well, in America. I spent years just traveling and working, and then I came to Australia. I realized in America and England and Australia, I get it. You speak English. It's their country language. That's their public language. But I was in Thailand. I was in India. I was in Singapore. I was in Indonesia, working under the local people, and my co-workers are local people, and my clients and the customers were local people, surrounded by Indian people or either Thai people. But then, do I speak their language? No. I end up just using English all the time. That 5 years, 6 years went by, and when I came to Australia, I realized, oh my God, I don't even know how to really say thank you in Thai or in Indian or Singapore. I was shocked. It's like, wow, English is great. English does connect. If you have English, you can go anywhere. Then some reason, I got a job in a casino in Melbourne, and I became a blackjack dealer.
Oh, my favorite.
I was a dealer. I couldn't be on the other side, but then casino decided to give me a permanent residency visa. Then I realized, okay, I loved America, but I hated America. They have these gun issues. John Howard here said, no guns here, and we gotta not be like America. I fall in love with Australia. They gave me a PR in a casino. Then I thought, I want to do something here. And then I thought, I better just really start English school. I did choose Cairns though, because of this. in Cairns, it's 365 days. Any days, it's summer.
Absolutely.
We don't wear this in Cairns. And in my school, there's swimming pool. It's always warm. Basketball court, tennis court. I have dormitories in a school.
Okay.
Yeah, and people having great time every day. There's no winter.
Why study in SPC Cairns is more experience than just a English course or a QEAC course?
There is SPC Brisbane, and SPC Brisbane guys are listening over there.
Yes,
And this is Brisbane. So I want to say something wonderful about Brisbane School too. However, the Cairns is just that unique because it's a 5 acre. It's a quite large piece of land that SPC is in, and when you go in there, you find swimming pool, basketball court, tennis court, 220 beds for students, and there's a restaurant that we feed them breakfast, lunch, dinner. Now, that is a school. What happened is, you're Colombian, right?
Yeah, I'm from Colombia.
The Colombian student will be staying with Japanese girl, Korean girl, potentially French girl, 4 different nationalities sharing a room, and they're sharing a breakfast together. They go to the classes, maybe different levels, then they have lunch together again, then dinner again. Evening time together, weekends together. Potentially you'll be seeing your very first wild wallabies hopping outside of school. You probably will experience together seeing Aboriginal people in the supermarket walking without shoes. And you do have those moments.
Connectivity.
And you sharing that experience.
Absolutely.
That makes you really just a best friend instantly. You will be calling them in a week or 2 weeks' time, you'll be calling them sisters. And it happened to be a foreign person. And if without English, you won't be able to communicate. You fall in love with English only because you fall in love with your roommate. That's
Okay, everyone calls SPCs a college, but we would like to call SPCs an experience, and it's a resort in our opinion, because they not only teach, they also give you a life experience living together and set of disciplines to take you out. With us, we would always like to introduce places where you can absolutely gain what your end goal is. If you wanted to improve your English, if you wanted to learn your English and practice your English in the reality, the only way to do that is to learn it properly. And Mr. Taka's set of disciplines in that school is second to none, because they have set of rules where you cannot have same nationalities, 2 of the same nationalities in a room, and that forces you to speak to each other in English. And
it is English only is number 1 rules.
Absolutely. And your teachers live in the same dormitories.
Yeah, in the same building.
Same building, and it's and the way he's spoken to us, the 5 acre facility not only gives you just school in the classroom environment. It's got a lot of life into it with other animals and other activities, right? And then close to beach. And
I don't think you find any English school in Australia that has goats walking around, not just cats and dogs and ducks. We got goats, and humming on the flutes, and it's an environment there.
And I'm about to also talk to you about the migration angle of this school and the courses and all that and the locations in a minute. But before we speak, your audience in Spanish-speaking audience, I don't know,
sure.
with permission of Mr. Taka, because he's very tough for not speaking English.
We're not in the school, so please.
SPC tiene algo muy especial, y es que ofrece una experiencia completamente inmersiva. Se trata de inglés 24/7, se trata de no solamente ir a clases, sino también vivir en un ambiente en donde todo el tiempo estás produciendo inglés, escuchando inglés, hablando inglés, lo cual es 100% garantizado que sientes que estás mejorando todo el tiempo. Y qué mejor que hacerlo al lado de personas que están de diferentes partes del mundo, desde Tailandia, Japón, en fin, diferentes nacionalidades que comparten no solamente un salón de clase, sino también un dormitorio y, por supuesto, un montón de experiencias que viven juntos, ¿no? Entonces, un poco lo que nos estaba diciendo también el señor Taka es que te enamoras del inglés porque al final te enamoras de todas las personas con las que estás compartiendo 100% en este campus.
So should I say sí?
Así
Sí.
es.
Okay.
Sí.
With the location, I mean, especially we talking about Cairns, and Mr. Taka's next mission is to, he's been very successful teaching people English, and it's continuing and it's growing every day, but he's taking a new step, very big step towards hospitality industry. So he's now coming into wet sector. SPC is looking into expanding themselves in very near future. They're about to launch their commercial cookery disciplines, and it is also with a big twist like they have done with English. The twist is they're going to give the same experience where they can live and work in the same compartment, in the same facility, and not only that, they're going to offer paid work experience for university, wet sector students to stay there and work there. Would you mind expanding that? And I will soon come to the migration side of it.
It's potentially not for all of them, but when we do start a cookery course, again in SPC Cairns, like I have mentioned, there's 220 beds are there for English students. They need to eat breakfast, lunch and dinner. They do every day, they need every day. At the moment, my chef is cooking it, but when we do have a cookery course started, will be a cookery student who will be cooking a breakfast, lunch and dinner, and it's a fair amount. So they are really doing experience. They are doing actual work, and that part of that can be a page. So they actually get to learn, experience it, and actually keep it as a job as well. I like the idea of students helping each other. And when an English student sees those cookery students actually in action in a kitchen, that gives them a glimpse of what they can do next as well. That's a next year plan.
Another good thing about Cairns is for migration purposes, it's classified as a regional area. So even if you don't have if you're in a short-term skill occupation list, you can go through 494 to permanent residency that way. But as we all know, there is an age limit and there are English limitations for people when they come into general skill migration or employee-nominated scheme. Studying in Cairns has a special pathway for migration and permanent residency, because certain part of just outside of Cairns city is they have Far North Queensland Dharma program. Far North Queensland Dharma program, especially for commercial cookery and cooks, chefs, and restaurant managers. You have a pathway to get into permanent residency through employee-nominated scheme until 55. So age doesn't matter in a way.
Yes.
So it opens up many pathways, and there are English concessions for certain occupations as well. So I could talk all day about this, but I guess Mr. Taka's taken a good step towards training students to the right pathways, and also it, with or without your intention, it also allows many permanent residency and also migration pathways to students as well.
Okay, same this.
So there is a special that they would like to promote as well. I mean, I'll get Sarah to explain the
Thank you.
promotion, I guess.
Hay una promoción que está absolutamente espectacular y es por 10 semanas de curso de inglés, hay 2 semanas de alojamiento gratuito en el campus en Cairns. Y como le estábamos explicando ahorita, vivir en Cairns es muy, mejor dicho, tiene muchas ventajas con respecto tanto a pathway de migración y adicional la experiencia de vivir en un lugar que está, mejor dicho, que es 100% australiano, que encuentras a personas de Australia en todo lado y además pues está ahí al lado de la barrera de coral, de la gran barrera de coral, que además es una de las maravillas del mundo, que es naturalmente maravilloso. I'm talking about the nature and everything in that place, so yeah.
So
You just mentioned the 2 weeks dormitory free.
so
You said 2.
2 weeks.
Okay.
so
10
when you
weeks,
study-
get 2 weeks, yeah.
when you enroll for 2 weeks, you get when you enroll for 10 weeks, you get 2 weeks of free studies. Is it accommodation?
Yeah.
Yes, and I think the lots of students from South America do actually go straight to a Brisbane school because, sure, my Brisbane campus is in a center of a Brisbane city.
Yes.
It's walking distance to any jobs that you can find. It's heaven here. But of course, Cairns is a little bit far away from anything. You go outside of school, there's no shops, it's just locals, English only. A perfect place for study. But we have dormitory in Cairns. So for those long-term students from South America, we are giving away 2 weeks dormitory free to start. But many South American students actually study in Cairns, depending on what, but 1 month, 2 months, then actually move to a Brisbane school. And then that's also
A possibility.
Mm.
So if you want to explore different parts of Australia and experience the tropical regional Australia and then come down to major big cities, with SPC you have that options as well within being in the same group. And if you also want to consider studying for our audience from India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, there's a lot of people who continuously ask, I would like to study in Japan and what's the pathway, and I guess SPC is another pathway if you were to study in Nagoya campus, or you can do some of your English in English in Japan and then come this way. So
Yeah. Well, thanks for mentioning Nagoya School. The simple reason for us to choose Nagoya in Japan for Japanese language school is because of the Toyota is from Nagoya, and a job is so easy to find in Nagoya for foreign students.
there you
And
go.
Yeah, that's it, you know.
Thank you so much for bringing all this good news and experience and sharing it with us and our audience, Mr. Taka and Sarah. And we look forward to seeing your campus soon and do some videos there.
Please come soon, very, very soon.
And if you like to join or explore further about SPC Group or their courses, their classes, and what's going to happen with this, what are the new offers that they have for the commercial cookery intakes that they're about to start, please feel free to contact us via any of these contact details down below. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Taka. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.